Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. I don't think we should waste much time and get on and really get on with it. Chetan's latest book, 12 Years, My Messed Up Love Story. You can hear me? Okay, yeah. 12 Years, My Messed Up Love Story is an unconventional romance. 21-year-old Payal. She's from from a conservative Jain family, a rising star in private equity, and 33-year-old Saket, a divorcee, a struggling stand-up comedian. That right there gives us a whole lot of topics to talk about. But before we get to the book itself, I'd like to ask Chetan, why it took him so long, almost 10 years since his last romance, to get back to writing a romance novel.
Okay. Hi. Hello, everyone. I thank you all for coming. Thank you for doing this. I don't know. I think I like love stories. I like love a lot. I think it's fascinated me always, and I've written many love stories. People have liked them, like Two States, Half Girlfriend, stuff like that. But I just felt the problem with love stories is that ultimately it's the same plot. It's a Jane Austen's plots, basically. Boy, girl, will they meet, will they not meet? That's a love story. So I didn't want to be repetitive. So after a couple of them, I felt like it's not, until something new I get, I shouldn't do it. So I literally had to wait it out till our society changes. Like India in 2025, when 12 years has come out, is very different from India in 2009 when Two States came out. It's been 16 years since that book came out. So, and I felt like that, once I felt that I can do something like a more new age romance, which is like today's romance, that seemed very different from Two States. I'll give you an example. So Two States, it's a very simple plot, like the boy and a girl love each other, but the parents are not convinced. Parents sure nahi hai, right? That was the story. Today we are in 2025, जहाँ पे couples ही sure नहीं है एक दूसरे के बारे में, right? Today that is the India we live in. It's called situationships, right? This word wasn't there then. So yaar, I like you, I love you also, we are dating also, but I'm not sure if this is the right thing to do. So I felt this is fascinating. This can make, finally we have something new in a love story where it's not so simple anymore, because, and I thought this thing will make a nice story. So I took a mismatched couple on paper, which is like she's 21, he's 33, he's divorced, she's not had a boyfriend. It's deliberate. And that's why 33 minus 21, 12 years. And I made a story around that. And once I got that, I became very confident that, yeah, this will work. Because it's fresh, it's nice, and it reflects the mirror on society today. So I just had to wait till times change,
So obviously, you do the math and you get the 12 years. And so I wanted to ask you, Chetan, why 12 years? Why was it not 10? And why was it not 14? And how important or unimportant was the wide age gap in this story?
Yeah, it's a good question, because I do think about these things. Ki why? This is my 12th book, but that wasn't the reason. When I was writing an age gap story, I wanted a polarized opinion. कि कुछ लोग बोले हाँ इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है, और कुछ लोग बोले you, what is going on, right? And that's exactly what happened. And the way I did it was, I did an informal survey amongst young people, and I said how much age gap is no big deal. So 7 years, हाँ ठीक है कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है. 8 years, no big deal. 20 years, too much. So almost everybody was on that side. So ऐसे करते करते 12 was that number where half the people are like, it's okay, hota hi hai. And half the people are like, are you crazy? 12 years, itna zyada gap. This is so wrong. This is completely wrong. That makes an interesting story. Because when we don't know that where to morally judge this, is this right or is it not right? And then think about this. If a boy is 33, she's 21, wrong. okay, let's say 12 years later, the boy is 45, girl is 33 now. Now it's okay. अभी आप हाँ कह रहे हो तो decide करो यार. So you know it just became one of those numbers which is where you are not really sure whether it's too much or it's okay, and that's where I thought the most interesting story will be.
And equally the contrast, Punjabi obviously needs no descriptor, conservative Jain family. Those contrasts, what drove you towards that?
You know, I'm quite fascinated how, I mean, we all say Gen Z is very free and ye and wo. They are free, but घर पे कोई और ही life चल रही होती है. Especially for girls. You know, girls are so good at this Indian double life कि it doesn't even get talked about. इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है, मम्मी पापा के साथ तो ऐसे ही होना होता है और बाहर ऐसे होना होता है. The concept that I am the same everywhere is not there. And so Payal, who is in private equity, she went to Stanford, she works in a very top firm, makes a lot of money, rising star, overachiever kid. But at home, mummy ne kaha no boys to no boys, you know. So it's like a Jain family, so they are like no non-veg, no onion, no garlic, no alcohol, and no men, which is not a Jain thing, but it's a matlab Indian thing. So, you know, but at the same time, Payal is a very nice, sweet girl, works hard, nothing evil about her, but yet she drinks wine, bahar. Yet she makes a boyfriend. And like, you don't even morally judge her. You feel, हाँ, तो करना ही पड़ेगा ना भी. तो मम्मी भी खुश रहे, बाहर भी मेरे को भी वो करना है जो करना है. So I thought that will bring out Payal's character really well. And it'll make a good representation of what's happening in our society even today, where even the overachieving kids have to play a double life at home. So it was more for that. I just had not done the Jain community before. I thought it's time to do something fresh, some new culture. There are a lot of positive things about that culture. They're very hardworking, this concept of forgiveness. There's very kind people in some ways. But not all. Of course, I'm not all. Just as all Hindu families are not the same, all Punjabi families are not the same. There is a section of Jains which is very conservative in terms of how they are. And they expect their kids to be also like that. So, believe it or not, I have a lot of Jain friends. I've done a lot of Jain events. There's an organization called Jito. Any Jains here? There must be some, yes. So, Jito, you know, right? Jain. So, they have this Jain organization. And I've done a lot of events and वहाँ मुझे बुलाते हैं speaker and मैंने कहा मुझे क्यों बुलाते हो? So I'm like, why? So they said, when you come, then young boys and young girls come to listen to you, and then we are hoping they'll start dating. Yeah. You know, if you're a 1% community, it's difficult, right? They're like, we don't mind people date, but it would be nice agar hamari community ka, but they never get to meet people from their community. So all these things have fascinated me over the years. So I thought, okay, let me write something about a Jain culture. More people should find out. So it's very respectful. There's some fun and all, but at the same time, I've been very careful. I made many Jains read the book before it came out. So yeah, I mean, I have employees in office who are Jain. So those people also gave their feedback. So that's how it came.
So 12 years has a lot of great lines, a few good, hilarious scenes. It's an intense romance, but there is a lot of laughter. And I've asked Chetan if he'd like to read us something today, so he's agreed.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so the Saket is a stand-up comic. I wanted to write a funny book. I felt a lot of thrillers and gangsters and badlands and गांव में murder होने वाले Netflix पे सारा time यही आता रहता है. So I just felt कि like why isn't there humor anymore? So I said let me make the hero stand-up comic. तो फिर वो book को funny होना ही पड़ेगा. And it was a challenge to do that because I had to learn stand-up comedy, write stand-up comedy, which is there in the book. And that makes the book gives the book a nice layer of humor throughout. So we discussed whether I should read. तो अब पढ़ता हूँ कुछ छोटे बच्चे तो नहीं है यहाँ पे ज़रा उनके कान बंद कर लेना. No, I'm just joking. Okay, so this is a scene. So when the stand-up comic comes home, sometimes, he's with his girlfriend or whatever, and Payal discusses with him. Like certain times he'll discuss his comedy, what happens, then the bedroom. And I also wanted to show that Payal is maybe younger, but she's very smart. That's why she works in private equity, and she gives it back to him. She can hold her own against him. Otherwise, it would become like even more mismatched couple. So this is an example of that scene where they're just chatting. He's actually remembering this, and they're just chatting, and he did a stand-up routine on something around push-up bras that was earlier in the book, and so they are just dissecting that. Okay. So Payal and I were lying in bed, chatting. Good show today? Payal said. Yes, the audience loved it. They were hooting and whistling. That's great. Listen, do you still do the push-up bra bit? Yeah, it always works. I always get the loudest laughs for the dhakka maar bra. I actually have an objection to file on that, Payal said, sitting up and turning towards me. What? I said, looking at her twinkly eyes. You say that push-up bras are technically a fraud. Yeah? How is it a fraud? They advertise it as that. Well, the men don't know. I use push-up bras sometimes. I'm not that big. I know, it's okay. It's okay? Excuse me? Yes, it's okay, baby. I love you anyway, whatever your size. Ouch, she said. What? Nothing. It's okay, Saket. I love you anyway, whatever your size. Huh? I sat up. What do you mean? Payal smiled. Is it small? I said. Well, Payal trailed off, a grin on her face. She fluffed a pillow and leaned back against the headrest. What? I've seen bigger, Payal said. Ouch. Double, triple ouch. Where have you seen them? In porn. Oh, of course, porn actors are the outliers. Oh, of course, porn actors are the outliers in size. The top 1%. It's like they've cleared the porn JEE. Well, you certainly won't clear that JEE. Good thing you took the other JEE. Ow, that hurts. You're brutal, Payal Jain. It's okay, baby, Payal said, patting my shoulder. I still love you. You can read the rest in the book, but that's the flavor. I just wanted to do a tongue-in-cheek, fun book, which has some message and everything. So yeah, you'll get that.
Several of Chetan's books have been made into movies. So I wonder, Chetan, when you write, when you wrote 12 Years, My Messed Up Love Story, was it for, was there hope, was there a wish for it to be on screen? Do you see it going on screen? And if so, do you...
You know, that question has an assumption that movies are the ultimate prize. And a lot of people ask me that question. Because in Indians' heads, movies are the ultimate prize. And for many years, even I started believing that movies are the ultimate prize. Movie ban gayi to matlab achhi hogi. But movies are not the ultimate prize, right? Movies are derivatives. They help me make some money. At some point, movies helped me become popular. So and they're a lot of fun to do. It's not fun to go on the set and see all these actors doing stories you wrote. It's nice. But for me, I am in a unique position that in 2025, I still write books and people read them. In the age of AI, in the age of video content, my responsibility as a writer in this country is to make people read. Right? There is a lot of content. There's a lot of movies being made, a lot of Netflix coming. It's like you can't keep up. And it's mostly not good. Some are good, some are not. But mostly it's not good. For a very long period of my life, I focused कि चलो movie बनवाएंगे because I meet people at parties and say, movie कब आएगी? You are asking, you're thinking about a movie. The others say, like, I don't read books, but I will watch the movie. And then I'm like, okay, I'll get the movie made for you, you know? And I spent 3 years trying to get the movie made, working with people who are 1/3 my IQ. And it's not fun. It's not fun. यार अभी हो गया मैं बड़ा हो गया मैं नहीं कर सकता. I can't suck up to like people saying, "Yeah, you are so great." They are not great, right? And at the same time, it detracts from what I am meant to do, which is write blank pieces of paper and convert them into magic like this. And I think for me, I write now for that. My last book was 11 Rules for Life. It was a motivational book. You cannot make a movie on it. You just can't. So I should not have done that book. But every day I get at least 20 DMs saying, this book has changed my life. So I am very happy with writing books. If someone wants to make a movie, of course, they can make the movie. I will love it. They'll have to pay me. And I will love that payment also. I mean, of course, right? But it's not the focus at all. It's a very Indian thing. Movie is the ultimate prize. Because a lot of people have not met those people who make movies. So you assume that they are like, this is the ultimate thing. It's not a nice place to be. It's good, but it's like a pond with a lot of crocodiles. It's a beautiful lake. But once you're in that lake, you're like, dude, one more crocodile. I want to get out of here. So I like writing books, and I feel, BLF is doing that. I am doing that. We are trying to make sure books are still relevant in 2025. And if I just go the movie way, then this will be lost. And I think this will be a bigger loss to society than the one more adaptation that happens. But, maybe someone will make a movie, I'll be okay. But I will write what I want to write. So whether it's motivation, love stories, next one could be something else, I don't know. So, but movies are not the focus anymore for me. They were. Because they helped me become popular, become household name. But I've used Bollywood now. Now I don't need it. They cannot make me more. I don't need fame to win anymore. Because I've already won. So that's it.
Chetan, I'm curious about your writing process. Obviously, there's fiction, there's non-fiction, there's romance, there is thriller. So I wonder how different is it, and if in terms of degree of difficulty, is non-fiction more than fiction, or how would you say?
Yeah.
How many drafts, those kind of things?
I'm very fortunate that I am not defined by a genre. Like, you can say this book is romance, but at the end of the day, it's Chetan Bhagat book. It has other things. It's got a lot, you can put it in humor also. You can put it in, and then the last book was motivation. And very few writers get that. So I'm very lucky that my publishers and all support me. Like, even when I went with 11 Rules, I remember they did have one hesitation moment where like, really, now you'll write your new book with us? It was with Harper, a new book. And they're like, the first book you're writing is this self-help book, no romance, no love. What is this, a Chetan Bhagat? But then they did support me full on. And that book has done very well also. So that's mainly because my readers trust me. And they're like, whatever he's written, I want to read. And that is a very good position to be in. What that also means is I tell myself not to rest on the laurels, right? There is Harry Potter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All great. I mean, there's nothing wrong. They're amazing books. I don't want to do that. I will not do a 2-state sequel or a 5-point-some-1, 3 Idiot sequel. That will be the easiest bestseller out there, right? But I will not do it. I will challenge myself and say, okay, let's make a stand-up comic as a hero. What does that mean? I have to write the stand-up comedy, which means I have to learn stand-up comedy now. That gets my creative energy flowing. If it is not difficult, it will bore me, and therefore it will be a boring book and it will be a boring thing. So we must all keep reinventing, challenging ourselves, and I believe in that. So I always say, what is different in this book? This is my 12th book. And if it's still hot, if it's still, people are talking about it, it's like, that doesn't happen to writers. They're known for one book, 2 books maximum. Most writers you think of. It's not like 22 years later they are still on it. That's because I take risks and try to do something different each time. And I've also realized that even though the writing may be a couple of hours a day, and that also may not be every day, maybe a few months of the year only, the mental state to get into the best writing state requires a 24/7 attention. Like, if you have not slept, can you write? You can't write, right? So sleeping is also part of writing, you can say. Staying fit, or stress, or like being all over the place, which I was. Like film industry can cause, it's fun, but it's stressful, right? It takes you away from doing truly creative work. So I had to scale back, I had to reprogram my life, my schedule to make sure it is around writing. Only then 12 years could come out. Otherwise it won't be there. It won't be funny, it won't be nice, it will be, I wouldn't be proud of it. So I try to live a completely disciplined life now, which is around writing. It's almost like a sportsman's life, but it's about writing. Because like we were discussing backstage, if a boxer may not be boxing all the time, but he has to train every day so that when he has to box, he's ready to box, right? So for a writer, I may not be writing books every day, but I have to be in that mental state that creative ideas come, jokes come. You know, I remember for this book, whenever I think of a joke, like this push-up bra scene, this scene I read, I was in Vipassana when this scene came to my head. And you're not supposed to write, you know. Vipassana, they say you can't, I mean, they can't stop you from thinking, but you can't write, you can't talk for 10 days, you can't do anything. And I had this scene, this Payal will tell him about this pawn, JE and all that. It came because I was relaxed. Of course, it was a bigger challenge, how do I write it? Because I would forget it. So there is a Vipassana mein rule, you cannot write, but if you have a complaint about your room, there is a complaint cards kept and some pens kept there. So I went and took a complaint card, wrote this scene down, put it in my pocket and brought it home after Vipassana, I wrote it. So 24/7 it's on, you know, my factory to do creative things. One joke may have taken a week to come and there are hundreds of jokes in this book. So that's how I live now. That's why I'm saying full focus on writing. This is my art. As you grow older, that's what matters, you know, your sadhana, your mastery over something, that is what gives me joy now. Fame, accolades, chief guest बन जाओ, बुके मिल रहे हैं, चेतन जी आ गए, जो श्री लगाने लग जाते हैं ना नाम के आगे, श्री चेतन भगत, ये सब अभी it doesn't work for me, you know. So that's that. The process is the fun part.
Um, Outside of my day job, Chetan, like I told you, I'm also a romance author.
And a sports author.
Yeah.
So this is a sports romance waiting to be written.
No, that's already done.
Okay, okay.
So my new book is a north-south thingy.
Okay.
So you spoke about two states earlier, and you can't be serious is also a north-south thing. I wonder if that you said that not much had changed on the dating romance landscape. You know, since you wrote since 10, 12 years, but has a lot changed on the north-south landscape since you wrote that, and if you can see if that is different?
I think it's not as strict. Like, I mean, there's a lot more urbanization happening in India, a lot more melting pot happening. So people from, like in Bangalore, right? People come from all over India here, and they will meet, and they will date, and I think it's that's the trend. So 16 years versus now, there's a lot more mobility. There's a lot more exposure. You know, there's a lot. Like, for example, little things I'll tell you what changes trends. We didn't have 16 years back online food delivery. So now you'll say, how does this affect north-south? Because I can get a dosa anytime now, right? I can get paratha anytime. These cultural things which were so isolated that our food is this, their food is that, it's become less now. Because you are eating, you can eat whatever you want, whenever you want. So I think it's become little less, but it's still there. I mean, it's still, people prefer to marry in their own culture. People would rather their kids, मतलब है कि सब कुछ सही है लेकिन you know Tamil होता तो better था. I face that, but और like Punjabi होती तो better थी. ऐसे होता है थोड़ा अभी भी.
And back to 12 years. Is this, Chetan, your hardest book that you wrote, or has it been and if so, what were your challenges while you wrote it?
I think so. One of the hardest. I don't know. I mean, maybe you forget the effort you put in on the earlier ones. It was definitely one of the hardest. Mainly because it was the comedy. You know, the stand-up comic, if the guy has to do comedy and the comedy doesn't work in the book, then it will not work. The second thing that was hard was to carry the, it's a very thin line when the girl is so young and the guy is 33 and divorced, right? And it's me writing. It's a 50-year-old man writing it. Matlab, it is so easy to be creepy. One line will make it creepy, right? One phrase will make it creepy. And people go, you, right? And that's the end of the book. And that, when I announced the book, you can, I don't know if you saw the Instagram reaction. ये आ गया देखो अभी, इसमें क्या होगा? But hats off, there's HarperCollins people, Paulomi Rashmi are here somewhere. They don't even attend my session now. They're just done with me. So they, believe it or not, we have a team of 7 editors who look at my book. All are women. And they went through it very carefully and they helped me a lot. Because men don't know when they are being creepy. Otherwise they won't be, right? Obviously no man wants to be creepy, right? So, but ऐसा कुछ था नहीं. I was anyway careful when I wrote it. But if there was a slightest iota of doubt, that's Rashmi. I mentioned you and you have gone backstage. So she helped me edit it and she told me, Chetan, ये ज़रा ज़्यादा हो रहा है, especially the sex scenes, you know, where. So that balance of making it seem romantic, still because of the age gap, but it should not be creepy. Paulomi is there, so those are the Harper team. So they helped me a lot. And I think that was a big challenge for me to do, that I'm executing this, but given the fact that I'm an older man, you know, if a woman wrote this story, oh wow, 50 Shades of Grey, a woman only wrote. I write a marpeet wali love story. I mean, they will be like, kya kar raha hai? He's gone mad or what? You know, Chetan, are you okay? So that balance was very difficult. The stand-up comedy was difficult. Just making the book really fun, because it's just generally become difficult because people have distractions now, right? People, I have to make sure young people give up their phone, Instagram, WhatsApp, all the wonderful things that are there in their digital device to read a pen, ink and paper book. So the book has to be really like fast-paced, fun. That itself is becoming more and more challenging over the years, right? So that was also a challenge.
Okay, we have about 12 minutes to go, and I think it's fair time to open it up. Do we have questions? Okay, so yeah.
So please say your name and what you do, so I get to know you a little bit. Who's asking the question?
Yeah.
Hi sir, I'm Rajneesh Kumar. I'm also a fiction writer. And the good thing is that when I read the 2 states is my life, it happened with me in real. My wife is from Lucknow, so I'm from Himachal Pradesh.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And the question is, what is the best advice you want to give to the fiction writers? That's how you said it, right? It's my responsibility to write it little more better. So the readers should read in India, right? And I see the people's read a lot in India, but they are mostly to the digital devices also, right? Instagram, they're spending a lot. So what is the best advice you want to give to the fiction writers? That they can just take into more wisdom and how they should write so they can engage more readers in India coming in future.
The writing should engage you. You know, you can't, that's the only advice I could, you can't really say, I will write this so that people will read it. That never works. You have to write a book which is like, what's the book I would write even if no one would read it? But it will be so fun to write it. It'll be so fun to, for me, like depending, it doesn't have to be a funny book. Whatever, if you're writing a historical book or mythology, whatever you're writing, it's a book I would love to read. That is usually what works, I have seen. Whenever you try to think too much, this book, I will write this scene in a way that people will leave the Instagram aside, that's difficult. But what you can do is say, I want to write a book which keeps me away from my devices. I think that's the best you can do. And then that's what works.
Hi, Mr. Chetan. My name is Minaki. I have written a poetry book and I'm still a closeted writer as far as...
You're out of the closet, you just said?
No, in terms of fiction writing,
Okay.
which is my ultimate goal. So I'm here for all the inspiration. And you too have inspired me. I've read most of your books. My question here is for the book which you've just published. So, Payal, if she was 33-year-old, don't you think that would have been braver and dating a 21-year-old guy? And
Braver in what sense?
uh, so this story is brave, right? I'm terming you as brave because you are giving these characters different dimensions, right? Um Someone dating a 33-year-old man who's a divorcee. What if Payal would have been that character?
आप लिखो.
Yeah.
आइडिया आपको लग रहा है आपके आपके साथ कुछ हुआ है ऐसा या मतलब ऐसे?
पता नहीं. I don't think it.
कहीं से तो आ रही है बात.
नहीं, I don't think you being a writer, you would know that it doesn't happen to you necessarily.
No, it doesn't happen. You know, like you can, yes, if you want to make a story like that, ki women can also be older. Yes, they can be, but normally, you know, older guys like younger women and younger guys like older men.
No.
That's the norm.
Beg to differ.
Why do you say it's braver then? The fact that you said it's braver means it's not the norm.
No,
Right.
because you
That
had
you-
so many beta gen readers. So did they not approve of this idea or no? It didn't come.
नहीं नहीं मेरे को जो अट्रैक्टिव लगता है मैंने तो वो लिखा है ना. मेरे को तो इतना हक है कि नहीं है. है कि नहीं है? क्या बताया जाएगा कि ये जो लड़की बड़ी हो सकती है, बहुत अच्छी स्टोरी बन सकती है एंड बहुत बनी है. इनफैक्ट माय एडिटर शाइनी हु इज द डायरेक्टर ऑफ दिस फेस्टिवल व्हेन शी इज द फर्स्ट रीडर ऑफ द बुक द फर्स्ट थिंग सेड दिस ओनली. उल्टा नहीं सोचा पर मैंने कहा ये जो सोच रहे हो कि ये डिफरेंट होगा इस पे इतनी बन चुकी है. अभी एक निकोल किडमैन की मूवी आई रिमेंबर सीइंग बेबी गर्ल. हैव यू सीन वेयर शी डेट्स एन इंटर्न. शी इज द सीईओ ऑफ अ कंपनी. देयर आर 5 or 6 movies that have come like this. So I would have been not been unique there actually. It's come. They also work and I personally don't think I can execute it. I don't have experience, so I don't know.
No, but amazing all the way.
No,
in any
but I
sense.
agree कि हो सकता है. But I think they're both brave. For me, even to do this, to write a book on, it's not just the age difference, on situationships. It's quite, it's challenging to write something like this. Because like I said, taking a divorced hero, your hero is divorced from page 1. To make him your hero is very difficult. You know, will he be attractive to all the people, all the girls reading the book? I don't know. So I took those risks this time.
I am Ramesh Shastri. I do nothing.
Which is like me only.
Now, your 5-point someone, is it based on, say, old-time IT Madras, where the male-dominated institute had to go through 3 periods every semester?
I was IIT Delhi, but yes.
Okay, 3 periods every semester, so that the men can understand what a woman goes through during a periods.
What?
The more women go through during a periods or periods, so that the more severe the period is, you get 5 points. The less severe, you get 8, 9 points. Were you a 5-pointer?
I was not in IIT Madras, sir, but I don't know what was happening there. IIT Delhi में तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं हो रहा था.
IIT Delhi में भी 3 periods था ना, 3 periods था a semester, no?
Is there some period joke here?
No, it is in that period we used to have 3 periods per semester, 3 periodical tests, which is the whole thing.
Okay, sir, इतना nerdy में नहीं रहा, but fine. Yes.
Okay, therefore each...
You have a question?
Each period used to go through pain. I don't know if it is from IIT Delhi you all had 3 periods or not per semester, but the periods used to be painful because you have to give a test.
Okay.
And it is counted.
Okay.
So,
Okay, fine.
anyhow,
Interesting.
since you're not from...
I'm not. I don't get the context so much.
you didn't
sorry.
get the context. Okay.
Yeah.
सर हाय फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बिग फैन सर. मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि आपने जब वन इंडियन गर्ल लिखा था तो वो कितना टफ था आपके लिए लिखना, क्योंकि आप पहली बार शायद एक वुमेन के पर्सपेक्टिव से लिख रहे थे और उसमें काफ़ी सारी डिटेल्स, मतलब काफ़ी एक वुमेन की थिंकिंग के बारे में बताया है. तो हाउ डिफिकल्ट वाज इट फॉर यू टू राइट?
Actually, you're right. That was probably one of the hardest books. In that I wrote, not only it was a female hero, but the female first person. And I tried to go into the mind of a woman. But I used to be that method actor types then. Now I don't do all that. now I'm like, it's okay. I don't have to do that level. But yeah, it was quite a challenging and hard book to write. Yes.
Hello, Chetan Bhagat. I am your great fan. Just wanted to ask you, could you illustrate the role of meditation in your creative work?
I don't know. I've just kind of recently started doing all this. Went for Vipassana this year. Trying to be more reflective in my life. Trying to be aligned to अंदर से मैं क्या हूँ, मुझे क्या चाहिए. Like I this decision कि मुझे इतना film industry में वो अंतरात्मा जो है ना, मतलब like my spiritual self is not so happy there. Even though it's fun and glitz and glamour. So it's a new process for me. So to write a book on it, I don't know whether I'll ever, maybe it'll reflect in my writing, but to write a full Baba Guruji type book on meditation, वो नहीं कर पाऊंगा मैं. I
But
don't think.
it has benefited you.
नहीं, it is definitely benefiting me also, but मैं इतना साधु टाइप हूँ नहीं. मतलब क्या बोलूँ, मैं नहीं हूँ संत. देखता हूँ मैं इंस्टाग्राम पे आजकल रील्स काफ़ी संतों की, काफ़ी ज्ञान दे रहे होते हैं. इट्स अ गुड बिजनेस दो, इट्स वेरी नाइस. यू नो, आओ आशीर्वाद दो, पैसे लो, ठीक है, खत्म बात. भगत बाबा नाम भी अच्छा होगा, है ना सर. मे बी आफ्टर फ्यू ईयर्स यूल सी मी लाइक दैट. ऐसे गेरुए में आ रहे हैं. हाँ जी, भक्तों.
Hi, sir.
Huh.
I'm Pratyusha and I'm a first year college student. So I grew up watching Two States and reading the book. I was in 6th standard when I watched that movie. And
My
so,
God, I'm so old. ऐसे बड़े बड़े लोग आ रहे हैं और कह रहे हैं हम छोटे बच्चे थे, हम हॉस्पिटल में पैदा हुए थे, सर टू स्टेट्स के गाने चल रहे थे. My God.
so basically after watching that movie, after watching Half Girlfriend, there was a sort of like love story in my mind. I have never been into any relationship till now, and I came to college having a thought of like, okay, ऐसा ऐसा होगा relationship में, कुछ नहीं होता है वैसा. It's very dry.
अरे यार.
So
I'm so sorry.
yeah, so my question is that do you think books and movies?
Such a charming single girl, guys. I mean,
So my question is that do you think often books or movies sort of create a different sort of standards in your mind which creates a problem or getting into a relationship or anything?
हाँ तो मैडम जो पिक्चर होती है ना, वो असली नहीं होती. Just FYI. मतलब ऐसे हम IM में गाने नहीं गा रहे थे, लो चाहे उल्फत.
No, it's not the lo chahe ulfat. I think
नहीं, मैं
it's
समझ
the
गया आप क्या कह रहे हो.
Sort of like me as a girl, what sort of like characteristics Krish had. It's not there in anyone actually.
Yeah, because
it's like do you?
मैं वो कैरेक्टर में क्रिएट करता हूँ जो उसकी खराब आदत है, मैं एडिट करके डिलीट कर सकता हूँ ना. इंसान को तो नहीं डिलीट कर सकते आप कि भाई ये like he's clingy or he's possessive or whatever. If I want, I can make a perfect guy, like most desirable, very charming guy, but it's fictional. It's made up. You know, the equivalent for men is pornography. वो होता नहीं है सच में. वो शूटिंग चल रही है और वो आपके लिए कंटेंट बना रहे हैं. So for women, the idea of romance from movies should not be taken to real life. Real life romance is messy and imperfect. पर आप मूवी टिकट लगती है ना मैडम, पैसे देते हैं लोग, तो वहाँ मैं रोज़ के सियापे दिखाने लग जाऊँगा तो फिर people want a nice happy ending, people want beautiful clothes, people want the boy to wait for her outside the office for 2 days. आजकल कौन करता है?
Exactly my
even
point.
even this guy, ऐसे पागल है पायल पे, ऐसे कहाँ होता है मैडम? कौन ऐसे करता है? I don't think people are, maybe. I agree with you.
Please write a story with a realistic
नहीं, पर
character.
आप भी मेरे को लग रहा है you are also like being.
So I can get out of that.
People do have boyfriends, girlfriends. I mean, I don't know why you are holding back. कि भाई क्रिश आएगा तो ही.
No, it's not Krish Aiga, but the standards are so low that you eventually you know that you are going
हाँ,
to get
नहीं,
hurt and
आ
you
नहीं
don't want to
रहा.
go
प्रिंस
through
नहीं
that.
आएगा, कोई घोड़े पे नहीं आ रहा है. Just letting you know. मम्मी पापा ढूंढ के देंगे तो उन्हीं से कर लो फिर, और क्या होगा, क्या कर. Okay, I think.
Good afternoon, Chetan. I just bought your book. The question is, have you considered any time writing historical fiction with real historical characters entwined?
I won't be very good at it. It's not my interest area. मेरे को आज का समाज, आज की society, I find that fascinating. I think I document that, show a mirror. Even if I try, I won't be very good at it, neither would I be passionate about it. I can only do stories which like are today, like aaj kya ho raha hai? That's what fascinates me. That's why I don't do mythology, historical, fantasy, things like that. It's difficult for me because it doesn't interest me. Even like I write newspaper columns also about what is happening today in India. So I think that's just my strength and I want to be there. Okay, we are one more. Okay, one last question.
So you said something about your process of writing where you're in the mindset of writing 24/7 and how your life is around writing. Can you elaborate on that and go into the details?
Yeah, anything you do. If you want to do, like even if you're not a writer, over here in the audience, if you want to be really good at something, it doesn't mean you have to work on it 24/7. वो नहीं हो सकता. My best day of writing 3 hours से ज़्यादा नहीं होता. It will drop. जितना भी मैं motivated हूँ, जितना भी हूँ, ऐसा कभी नहीं होगा कि आज तो बस लिख डालेंगे 9 घंटे लिखे जा रहे हैं. वो नहीं होता. After 3 hours, there is a quality drop for sure. And even in those 3 hours, I will need 5 Wi-Fi breaks. But fine, that's it. But what is happening in the remaining 21 hours? It's not like जो मर्जी करो, you know. It's not like जो मर्जी खाओ, जो मर्जी सो, जहाँ मर्जी socialize करो, रात को दारू पियो, ये वो, and then now the 3 hours have started. Now I'll work. That doesn't work in things like this, where you have to actually create and do good work. It can work in a corporate, जहाँ कोई काम actually कर नहीं रहा होता, ठीक है? वहाँ क्या है कि बस ऑफिस पहुँच जाओ जैसे तैसे मरे मरे से कॉन्फ्रेंस कॉल में बैठ जाओ, you know, जो भी बॉस बोल रहा है कह दो I agree with you, good point, बस हो गया, आपका दिन हो गया, आपको दिहाड़ी मिल गई, आपकी तनख्वाह आ जाएगी. You can do it. But if you want to build something, whether it's a startup, to a book, to doing some good work, research, I don't know, for that you cannot live like that. Your life has to be around those 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever of the actual work. So that means good sleep, good rest, good discipline, less stress. Who are the people in your life? Are they ambitious? Are they also growth oriented? Are those people only कि यार हम तो वेले हैं, चलो अय्याशियाँ करते हैं बैठ के, you know. I'm at a stage where all my friends are doing well. They can all like afford to like sit and drink at night, the best alcohol. Should we do that? I don't think so. I don't think it'll be very good for me. So it's not like ये मेरे को, I was born with this knowledge, by the way. So at your age, I also thought जिंदगी जीने के लिए है, पार्टी करो, काम भी होता रहेगा. ऐसा नहीं होता है. Certain work, like sportsmen, something which very high level of performance and intensity of mental intensity, physical intensity, you need to wrap your life around that if you want the best output. पर अगर ऐसे बैंक में काम कर रहे हो, जो मैं कर चुका हूँ, कुछ किया ही नहीं, मतलब I just used to like do bare minimum and उसमें ही खुश हो रहे हैं सारे, तो that's different. So that's what I would say. So just have a life of discipline. Basically comes down to discipline. If you live a life of discipline, good things happen. If you don't live a life of discipline, bad things happen.
Hello. That was very Baba-like, by the way.
बाबा बन रहा हूँ. मैं अगली बार मेरी ड्रेस ऑर्डर कर रहा हूँ Amazon पे. बाबा सूट आता होगा. ऐसे विभूति वगैरह लगा के आऊँगा. ऐसे देखना आप भी ऐसे.
Thank you. Can we give it up for him? No questions. We are out of time.